O'Neill, 2 L's. I serve the SGC under a General Hammond.
We're explorers. You see, we're from another planet.
The unstable vortex of a forming wormhole. Kawoosh.
Indeed.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Kawoosh podcast. This is the penultimate episode of season 2.
Penultimate?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Second to last.
I learned a new word today.
I'm your host Arne. I'm joined as always by my lovely host Evie, who was just checking out her lovely eyes.
He just wants me to blush on camera.
Yes, I do.
Oh gosh.
Today we are talking about the episode 1969. It's a classic. It has, I believe it has 5 stars on IMDb. It's one of the most highest regarded episodes in the series.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and let's get into that one. So the team is down in the gate room while Sam is in the control room, and she's trying to get the calculations right for that time of year to travel to the specific planet they want to go to. I didn't write down the name because it was all letters and numbers. Daniels says it has something to do with a solar thing, but he wasn't really paying attention when she explained it.
And I wrote down, that's rude, Daniel, because you always expect people to pay attention when you ramble. I mean, and he rambles a lot.
And then Sam comes on the mic and she explains that the wormhole passes near a sun. It's the sun of the target planet they're going to, and she has to manually change the drift calculations for the space-time warp and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
But you weren't really paying attention.
It was a lot of
I love how Jack,
technobabble.
I love how Jack goes, we know, just get on with it. Like I knew that.
And then while she's getting ready and she wants to leave to the gate room, Hammond approaches her. He asks her about her hand. She says it's fine, and he gives her a note to keep in her pocket, and he tells her it's pretty self-explanatory.
And this is where it clicked for me which episode this was. I'm like, it's the time travel episode. And I love me a good time travel episode, so I was very excited. I'm also very much a sucker for the trope of giving your previous self a message.
Yeah,
Which is what he's doing right here.
exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to know something really weird? I almost wrote a fanfic based on this episode.
On this episode,
Like on the whole time travel concept.
when was that?
It was way back when, fanfiction.net was still a thing and not AO3. So
Okay.
yeah. And I got this close to writing it down. I had it all plotted out and I didn't. Kind of sad really, because it was a really good idea.
You can still do it.
Yeah, sure. I'll just add it onto the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
So, Hammond is like acting a little bit off, so Sam asks if everything is all right. He says it is, and he sends her on her way.
And he acts, he delivers it so well. Like looking back on it, knowing now that, he knows where they're going. He just...
Don Davis is barely in this episode, but
Yeah.
he is a presence. Like the few things he's in, he's really, really good.
Yeah, he's not... Yeah. Again, they're never phoning it in this.
Sam joins the rest of the team while Hammond keeps watch from the control room, and Sam looks back like just a moment before she steps through the Stargate, and we see a flash. We go through the Stargate, and they step through, and they're in the gate room again. I immediately clocked that the background was looking kind of funky. And it was because a moment later it disappears. So they were probably on a green screen, or they replaced the background. That was the reason. And when they look up, they see big ass engines like from a rocket. But they do seem to be in the same space, in the same room. And they hear an announcement, like the announcement of a test burn. So they rush to abort it somehow, like starting pushing buttons, pulling cables, all that stuff. Till just silently walks into the middle of the room, aims his Z gun at the engine, and just disables the whole thing.
I love how everybody's like panicking and he's like calmly taking out the problem. Like, if I shoot it, it's not going to work.
So the doors slide open, soldiers appear, and they tell them to put their hands on their head and get on their knees.
And did you notice? Like, they were like, get down on your knees. And they do it. And then Sam's like, don't tell him anything. We're in Cheyenne Mountain. Like, you just told him something, Sam. Like, Also, very helpfully, Teal'c comes in and he leans into the shot like he was way over there. And he's like, let me just make it easier for you to keep watch of all of us. I'll just lean in right here. It's like, it's very funny.
So after we get back from the opening credits, the soldiers want to know how they got there. And Sam was the one, as you said, who recognized the gate room. And she tells them that they're still in Cheyenne Mountain. And,
that's when that happens.
And in the next scene, all their gear is on a table. And there's a soldier checking it all out. And he finds the note in Sam's jacket pocket.
I also loved how they were trying to get them to answer who they were, but they kept like saying shut up, like answer my questions, but also don't talk.
Yeah,
like,
it was really, the orders were very confusing.
Well,
they
yeah,
were
but
contradictory.
it was very much like I'm very upset and confused and like.
Yeah, of course, they were rattled because
yeah.
like 4 people appeared in their test site way underground. So yeah, I get that. And the soldier opens up the note and it says to help them, and there's 2 dates on it. That's all we can see. And then we cut to a holding cell where Sam explains that they traveled back in time about 30 years. Daniel is the only one who's enthusiastic about the idea of time travel because he wants to go visit Babylon or see the Wall of China being built.
He's like, oh, think of all the things we could do. And then he starts listing vacation holidays. And I'm like, or you could go get your wife back. Maybe. You could go back and change that, Daniel. Like,
well, Teal'c is the only one who goes like, maybe we can prevent some major catastrophes before they happen. But then Sam tells them that, no, we can't because that's the grandfather paradox.
Can I just point out, like, everybody is always in this fast belief that if you go back and you step on a butterfly or if you change like a little bit thing, you can have fast repercussions. But people are often convinced that changing something small now will not do anything for the future.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to think about. Like little things can have big ripples later on, even now.
I also like in this whole scene that they're all explaining and theorizing about time travel, and then Jack is the only one who goes like, yeah, but us being here, doesn't that change anything already? So Sam says, well, we have to do some damage control and we can't tell anyone that we're from the future. Yeah.
All right. Do you know why I wrote down Daniel, you idiot, in all caps? What happened?
Oh
my God! Yes, I
next
remember.
Scene. So there is a soldier
Okay.
that steps in and he asks if they're Soviet spies.
And he asks this in Russian.
Yeah. And Daniel, without a beat, answers, "Нет." Before realizing, like, uh-oh.
He doesn't even realize.
No,
because he
it's
starts
Jack.
explaining it to
Yeah.
Jack, and Jack's like, Daniel? Like, what? I speak Russian? Wait, no, that was...
Yeah,
Oh,
so they are
God.
taken away for interrogation. And then we cut to a scene of Jack getting interviewed by, I think he's probably the commander in the base.
Remember when everybody smoked inside?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Because he's smoking during this interrogation.
Yeah, and Jack is taking the whole thing of not telling anything very serious because at first he starts out saying that he's Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Of course, they don't really believe it. And he keeps bluffing and he keeps a straight face. And then at the end, he says he's Luke Skywalker. So yeah, he's just playing at this point. We briefly cut back to the SGC in our time, where our favorite gate technician, well, it's not our favorite, Harriman is our favorite, but our new gate technician comes in and he says to General Hammond that they have no trace of SG-1. They never arrived on the planet. And then Hammond trusts that they will return, but they'll have to do it on their own. In the past, SG-1 gets transported in a van, so they're taken away from Cheyenne Mountain and they're talking inside the back of the van. Jack wants to escape. Sam says there is no way. Teal'c also warns them that if they stay too long, he will be taken over by his mature symbiont. So they have to do something. Staying is not really an option for him. At this point, the van blows out one of its tires. The doors in the back open and the soldier who found the note says, I'm the one who arranged this. And at this point, we can see his name tag and it says Hammond.
And just the entire way that this guy speaks, because it's not a complete match for the face, but his mannerism is...
He is close,
He's
though.
close. And his mannerism is... the way he talks in his cadence, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I think he just
has
followed the actor
he
around
has
for
a
like.
Texas accent. He has the mannerisms down, and he could be a younger version or at least related. He looks like he
Yeah,
could be related.
but just
So
the way that he speaks, he
yeah.
probably followed the guy around for like a solid week.
So he tells them that he found the note and it was addressed to him. It was in his own handwriting, and he wants to know why he would help them. So at this point, they try to tell them that they're from the future, and they ask the specific date that they're now. It's August 4, 1969. So they tell him that he saw the moon landing from the hospital with his father. So this convinces him. It takes a bit of
Well,
convincing.
yeah,
but
because like, oh, what happened? Oh, the moon landing. Like Daniel, everybody saw the moon landing.
Yeah.
Like that was not a
But
good.
I believe it's Jack who tells them like we know specific details. We are from the future. You told us these things, and in the end, he believes them and he uncuffs them, and then at that point, he sees the cut on Sam's hand. So dun dun dun, the link. He also hands them the Z gun. They tell him run out and call for help, and this attracts the other soldiers and they stun them. And then Hammond joins them lying down on the ground. At this point, the other transport with their stuff arrives.
Which has been handily waiting around the corner until they were done with all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they stop that, take it over. Jack takes out I'm not sure what it's called again, but it's the device they need to sense the iris code. He takes out that specifically, and then they disintegrate the rest of the boxes because it's too big to lug around. At this point, Jack also asks Hammond if he can borrow some money and he will pay it back with interest. Like, these setups I just love because
yeah.
you know it's gonna come back at the end.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised that it wasn't that bad. I thought the interest would be so much more. Like today's interest, that would have bankrupted Jack. Like at a certain point, he also, are you going to listen to yourself or not? Which I also thought was a very nice thing.
Yeah, and then Jack stuns Hammond and they get off the road.
Which will, for me, revive the question, you can only be zapped by a Zeknekatel 3 times, right? He has been zapped now once. Does this count? What is the reset timer on this?
I think there is, the energy will dissipate in the body, I think. So after a certain time, if you get hit again, it's reset. It's just stunning again. I think it's the build-up of. It's just very hand wavy. It's when they need it.
I know. That's why that's why I like to poke at it because they didn't really think it through.
They actually do poke at it themselves at one point.
Yeah.
They use it once to get out of a pickle, and they curse themselves with it, and they know because it can be a helpful tool to get out of situations like this. Oh, we need to get rid of the equipment, but it gets you in so much trouble, so many questions. Anyway, so Jack's plan is to find the Stargate, and then Daniel says that might not be that simple. Jack says, well, there's always Antarctica. And then Sam shows them the note, and she points out that there's 2 dates on it. It's not very helpful, but something must happen on these specific dates, and they'll have to figure out what it is.
And then while they're walking through the forest, I think it's Teal'c says, like, how do we get back to the future? And I thought that was very nice. I always like it when they drop.
Name drop other franchises. At one point, they go back to the road and they try hitchhiking. So they put Sam next to the road to stop a car, and they're waiting in a ditch and continue discussing.
And meanwhile, like Jack and Daniel are discussing, meanwhile Teal'c is watching. He's like, something is happening and I don't know this Earth custom. I'm gonna look at it. And he keeps looking at the cars passing by. Like he is studying what's going on, like very intently.
Yeah, the other two are just
like
babbling on.
Yeah,
Sam's doing all the work. Teal'c
and
is
nothing's
just,
working.
yeah.
And then at one point Teal'c is like, this method appears to be ineffective. He steps out. I love it.
So Daniel thinks that they should go to New York and contact Catherine. She might know where the Stargate is, but Sam says that's a bad idea. They can't meet yet. But Daniel says, well, we can use a disguise. So, and then, as you said, Teal'c at that point just gets up and takes matter into his own hands. He steps into the middle of the road and stops a bus with 2 hippies inside it. That's like best way to describe. It's like the classic school bus that has been painted with graffiti. and rest on the inside.
Yeah, and the guy says, we would have stopped. And like, yeah, you would have stopped. But it's still funny that Teal'c like went then.
Yeah, and they're going to New York to some big concert, and I forgot to look up if it is Woodstock. Like, it would make sense, but it might. I'm not sure if that's the same year.
My state's geography is not good enough to know where Woodstock was.
Yeah. So yeah, it is Woodstock. Woodstock 1969 was August 15 to August 18, and it was near New York. So that's where they're going. I also find it funny that the driver tells Teal'c he can sit up front. It's cool, and he calls him brother, and I think he even does the Black Panther, the fist sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he's like I'm an ally, and Teal'c just has no idea what he's talking about.
No.
So he is Michael, but Teal'c says I'm not at liberty to share my identity. And in the back, the hippie girl asks what it is they did, because she probably recognized the fact that they're wearing army fatigues, and she's like, are you running away from the army, in her head. So Jack says they have a little problem with the establishment, and she's like, yeah, I understand. And Michael wants to know if Teal'c's symbol, the symbol on his forehead, is for peace, and Teal'c says it stands for slavery to false gods, and he doesn't want to discuss it any
And
further.
Michael is just like so impressed, like, whoa, yeah. And rightfully so.
So Michael also mentions at this point that he wants to go to the concert, and then he wishes he could drive to Canada because of the war. And then, of course, Teal'c doesn't know what war, but of course we know it's Vietnam. Then we have a little travel montage.
Yes,
So, yeah.
the old style with the map and the red line and the travel music. It's like,
And we see that they get some new clothes. Teal'c gets an afro wig and a bandana, and he also learns how to drive, because at one point he drives the bus. And the bus very much reminded me of the one from the Muppets, from Dr. Teeth.
okay.
Like,
yeah, okay.
It's painted exactly like that. And
Well,
it's
maybe
also a
that was
school
just
bus.
the
But
bus that
it's
everybody-
the hippie bus.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I thought it was funny. Next scene, they are sitting around a campfire. And at one point, it just flares up. And then Sam sees it, and she says, like, I think we got sent back because of a solar flare. Because the magnetic field must have slingshotted them back to Earth, and then the note from Hammond has 2 dates on it, and it might be solar flares. Yeah, they're not very conspicuous about it, and the 2 people they're traveling with overheard them, and they're a bit confused, so they want to know who they are and what they meant by traveling to the stars. So Jack tries to convince them that they're aliens from a galaxy far, far away, and they need to go to New York to get home. And to convince them, he takes out the Zat-gun and shoots a laser.
Which, I mean, you just made the fire go boom a little. You can do that with a lot of things. So, but yeah, okay. It
Well, they
convinces
see
them.
the laser.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That is something you can't do. So yeah, it convinces them, and they decide
Let's not.
to help
Yeah,
them.
the whole point that you can see lasers in all these sci-fi shows
I
is a
know.
whole discussion unto itself. But let's not get there. Let's not get
I
into
know,
that
I
right
know.
now.
So we get another travel montage, and they arrive at the an observatory. I'm not sure which one, maybe, but it's probably near New York. Jack and Teal'c go there, and they're going to take a look at the sun, because it's the first date on the list.
Yeah, and at first I was like, why didn't they drop off Sam and Jack? But then I figured they can't really put Teal'c in the room with
Catherine,
with
yeah.
that David, because that would make less sense, I guess.
Yeah.
So
So Jack and Teal'c go in there. Teal'c mentions that astrology is one of O'Neill's hobbies. Jack says, well, not at this scale. Meanwhile, we cut back to the travel montage, and they arrive in New York, where Sam and Daniel go and visit Catherine. And Daniel poses as the son of a German scientist who worked with her father.
and I mean, I just wanted to punch him.
His accent is very
It's
cliche.
very cliche, but it's very German, and his hair is all slicked back, and he has his little glasses on, and he's just very. Yeah, I just wanted to punch him.
Yeah, it's not a perfect disguise, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's also funny that like he's in full-on disguise, and Sam is sitting there in a hippie outfit with pink sunglasses and stuff like that.
That is very
they
true.
do not really match, but okay. But we do see that Catherine is wearing the pendant with the Eye of Ra, the one we know from the movie. And then Daniel convinces her that he is who he is by telling his knowledge of the gate and where it was found. And he mentions the accident with Ernest Littlefield. But she tells them, Catherine tells them that the gate has been packed away and it's under military control. Meanwhile, Jack and Teal'c are at the observatory and they see the first flare. So Jack says, we can go home. They meet back up at the bus and they have to be in Washington, D.C. to find the gate. So Sam drives them there and mentions that they will have to find a power source. They thank Michael and his girlfriend, and Teal'c tells them they have been very groovy. At this point, of course, Michael wants to go with them because they need to. Because, of course, what everybody already expected, he got drafted.
And that is one of the points in the episode that kind of left me with a bad taste, because they helped them, and I can understand that they can't just take them with them to the future. That's not something they can do. But they also give them nothing on information. They don't say like, yes, run away to Canada. And I get that they don't want to change the future, but at the very least, I would have kind of wanted them at the very end of the episode to look him up to see what happens.
Yeah, it is
to just say like, did he live or did we like doom this guy?
Yeah, this is one of my only nitpicks on the episode. Is like we could have used a little bit more time with them, and we needed some kind of resolution. Because at this point they just get dropped from the narrative completely. Like at least like maybe sucks. Hint like, yes, Canada is nice this time of year or something along the lines of that. Like and like you said, maybe look them up. Like it could be like a tiny moment at the end of the episode, but something. Yeah. Like it could even be that he was drafted and he got killed, but like something to drive the point of like what.
Because the last time we see them is that they're hugging and they're sad.
Yeah.
And like these people helped you.
And not a little.
No.
They took them to New York and then to DC.
Yeah.
So, and they spent time with them. They shared stuff with them. Like I felt a bit like
it's like you can't change the future. Well, no, but like what kind of future are we even talking about? Like if Michael gets sent there and he dies in war, like that's not gonna have an impact on later. Like you could have just let him.
Or if you're gonna drop them from the narrative, make it a point like we can't help them, and make it really really sad that you can't help them.
I think they tried to do that, but it didn't really land.
Yeah, probably. Like they rushed it a little bit because we're getting to the end. And they had one more surprise that they needed to jam in there.
I think we skipped over the part where somebody says, like, what if it doesn't work? I guess we stay.
Oh, I didn't write that down,
No, but at some point they're like, okay, but if this doesn't work, I guess we stay. And I wrote down, and then they become the A-team. Because the longer we're in this episode, the more they start fitting, like, the stereotypes of the A-team for me. Like, Daniel is ace. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the A-Team.
I've seen it. I wasn't a big follower of the A-Team, but I've seen it. I know what it's about.
Well, I don't know. Now I'm kind of in doubt. Maybe Daniel is Murdoch.
So Michael got drafted. So Sam does warn Jack not to tell Michael anything, and that's basically the point where they just leave him.
Yeah.
And then they get dropped off at the military base. They say their goodbyes. And the team infiltrates the warehouse where there is a huge wooden box in the middle. Pretty sure it's the same one from last time.
They've done this before. They have infiltrated a warehouse where the gate was in a box.
It's not the same because I was looking at the warehouse. It's not the same warehouse.
Yes, and also the gate is stored upside this time, which makes for a very dramatic shot when they open it.
They climb up and they unlatch it and the sides fall out and you see the gate.
Which is very cool, but also makes a lot of noise. And then they make even more noise by hot wiring some cars.
Because they need a power source.
To power up the gate, which, I'm sorry, I'm not an electrician, but just hot wiring something and sticking it on something.
But they do not have a lot of time, and that's the main problem. But the noise does draw the attention of soldiers who enter, and they're just in time to see the kawoosh. They see the gate activating, and they draw their weapons. They start a shootout. Jax tries stunning them, and they need to rush through the gate or be stopped. And they come out of the gate in a dark gate room. Everything is covered with blankets. It seems empty and left for a long time. And then the doors open and an old woman steps through.
And for some reason, can somebody explain to me why she's in a white nightie? Like, has she been sleeping there?
It's just the image. It's an eerie image.
It's an eerie image, but if she knew exactly when they were gonna be there, why
would wear clothes.
I think she did this for the aesthetics of it. Like, ooh, I'm gonna dress up for the occasion. I'm gonna be ethereal. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna show up. Like, because how often can you be the grandma to the people that raised you? I guess, kind of like. But I think
True.
she did it on
Yeah.
purpose.
But yep, Sam recognizes her. It is Cassandra, and she tells them that they went through a few seconds too soon and ended up in the far future. So Sam in the past told her of this, and she's there to send them back like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And she has this cool little hand device that activates the gate.
And then, because this is so very time sensitive, they just slowly walk up to the gate with no countdown whatsoever, and all four walk through with like more than a few steps between them.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for them to pop up in different sections of time at this point. Like, you keep saying timing is of the essence, and then timing is not of the essence.
Yeah, and as they walk through, Cassandra tells them that their journey is just beginning. Because we're at the end of the season and then there's the next one coming.
Yeah.
So at the SGC, the gate activates and Hammond is there waiting for them. And Jack steps up to him. They're home, and it is thanks to one sparky young Lieutenant Hammond. He said that he remembered the cut on Sam's hand, knowing it would all happen, and he almost didn't let them go. And then, with interest, Jack now owes Hammond $539.50.
Which is almost nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking, like, this was 69, right? That's 30 years. What kind of interest is that? This is why people cannot afford houses anymore.
Or
because
it's just a joke, you know.
no, I'm pretty sure somebody, like,
Somebody calculated
this is
it.
actually one of the only first times that we see the entire team standing there and the gate is behind them when it shuts off. Like, they put effort in that effect, like, happening behind them. So that was very well done. I do wonder if this means that Hammond knew who Teal'c was. Like, when they brought Teal'c back, did he recognize Teal'c and went like, okay, I can trust this guy? Like,
That
maybe
is a
that's
very good
maybe
point.
that is like retroactively, of course, because they didn't have this information
of course.
back when they were writing season. But in my head, it makes more sense for me now that Hammond was so fast in trusting Teal'c because he maybe remembered him.
True,
Right?
true. I also noticed that Jack in this episode has a wound that goes through his eyebrow, and one of the things that I didn't notice this myself, but it is apparently he kept the scar, like the fake scar. So from this moment on, he asked the makeup team to take a little bit out of his eyebrow to keep the scar in continuity. So this is something that will stay, which is pretty cool. It's a nice detail. Yes, I also wrote down we could have used a little bit more time with our two helping friends. Like you said, like it doesn't really go anywhere, and that's a shame.
I mean, yeah.
I did look them up because I recognized the guy. From other stuff. He's Alex Zahara, and he was apparently in 8 episodes of Stargate SG-1, but mostly playing aliens under makeup, like he was Zeus in this season's episode Spirits. He also had roles in Babylon 5, Legends of the Rangers, and Battlestar Galactica, and in Masters of Horror, the episode of Dear Woman. And he was also in Sanctuary, the series that was co-created by Amanda Tapping. The actress playing his girlfriend, and the girlfriend is called Jenny, which I don't think is mentioned in the episode itself. She's played by Amber Rothwell, and she hasn't done as much as Alex, but she is still acting. She was in an episode of Battlestar Galactica, and she also was in Smallville, same as Alex. He was also in Smallville. So yeah, both working actors from Canada.
Wait, this is set in Canada?
It is not set in Canada, but it is shot in Canada. A really good episode. Like, it's funny, it's engaging, and it is not action heavy, but it doesn't need to be. This as like the story engine is pretty clear, and the only thing I can say, like you already mentioned, is we could have used a little bit more time with those two people, like Michael and Jenny, and then it would have been near perfect, I think.
I know there's at least one more time travel episode in Stargate, but do they ever do it again?
I know that the movie Continuum is a there is some
true.
time travel. Like the very last episode of season 10 is a time travel episode. It's more of a time freeze episode. It's a very good one. It's unending. And Tilk is the only one who can return because of his symbiont. So they turn back time to rescue
Is
themselves.
that the one where they're stuck on the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no,
also-
time does move, but so super slowly,
Yeah.
and Sam can't stop it. Yeah, that's a very
that's
good
a very
one.
good one. We also have a season finale. I'm thinking it was season 8, where we see an alternate version of the time, and something happens. I think it's somebody goes back, changes history, and then we have alternate versions of Jack, Sam, and Daniel, and they have to try and figure out and set things right again, which it was more like a fun episode, and it was actually, I think, meant to be a potential series ending, and it's filled with callbacks to other moments from the series.
The things that fit in your brain are astounding.
It's amazing,
like this,
right?
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
always ask you where my keys are. Like, we don't even try at this point anymore. Like, we lost something, okay.
We have the time loop episode with
Yeah,
Jack
but that
and
is
Tilk.
one of my favorites. That is one of my absolute favorite episodes of all
Yeah,
time.
but I think we're gonna have to have some patience before we reach that one,
Like, just watch me just keep at this just to get to the time loop episode.
and then just stop.
Yeah, like that was it. That was it for me. Like, it's like
Yeah, so they do have some time travel, not a lot,
but
which
it
is a
doesn't
good
have
thing.
to be,
Which
but
is a good
it's-
thing. You can get
it's-
over reliant on the gimmick of time travel, but like when they did it in the movie, I don't mind. Like, it's the very last thing they do, and it is like it's filled with cameos, and it's just like a good it's a goodbye to the series. So I like it. Like the story is very thin, but I don't mind. It's fun. It's just fun. So next week we go to the episode Out of Mind, which is the season finale of season 2. I do not remember anything.
no. I was just
even
thinking
reading
like this trailer started playing, and I was like, who are these people?
Okay, I am very curious. I am.
And also worth noting that on our DVD box set, like there were 4 episodes on this disc, and this one is the second episode on the disc, and then they put Hathor and Thor's
Thor's-
chariots
yeah.
back on it, like just to fill up the DVD. And you said it was probably because those were things that were going to be interesting again in the next season,
I think so.
but also because you said they released the DVD separate at one point, so you need
they
a full
used,
DVD, I
yeah,
guess.
they used to be sold separately in plastic boxes. So you could buy 5 of them to have a complete season. They used to also have the 5 of them in a slipcover, but I, of course, wanted the one with the Stargate on the back. But I think that might be the reason, because you can't sell them a DVD with only 2 episodes on it. It was a product for the casual fan, like clearly a money grab. It was very easy to buy doubles like that because they all looked alike.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They would
Even
also
now, because we tried to buy like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series, and you accidentally bought like the separate ones, like because all the names look alike, and it's
Yeah, and
so
they-
hard to.
and they have like 30 volumes because every DVD is a
Yeah,
volume.
and I mean, you're a seasoned DVD buyer, and even you sometimes like what just happened?
I have bought many multiples of many things because I just forgot.
Oh yeah, but you have a list. You have a handy list.
do have a
that you
list.
always have at home when you're in a store somewhere, going like.
I forgot my list at home. Anyway, so next week will be the last episode of this season, and then we'll probably take a short break and catch up on some episodes. and get ready for season 3. And we might do a little bonus episode, right?
If we can find it, yeah.
Yeah, because we found out that...
No, he found out.
Well, I just saw it in passing on YouTube because YouTube was like, hey, you might be interested in this. And I was like, yes, I'm very interested in this. So Richard Dean Anderson and Christopher Judge were in an episode of MacGyver together.
And they look so young.
So I was like, we should watch this.
There's so much hair. Like you showed me the picture. And
And on both of them. Like I knew Richard Dean Anderson had a mullet, but
It's like so much hair.
so yeah, we're gonna see if we can find that one, and we'll maybe put if it's worth the effort, we'll put it out as a bonus episode.
I haven't watched MacGyver in a long time.
I know what it is. I never watched it, so I'm very curious. I really want to see if it's fun. It's probably so 80s.
It's silly, but it's. I remember it as being silly and fun. All right.
Well, there's like 5 seasons, so it must have been good at least in some way.
All right.
Well, let's find out. We'll see. Next week, season finale of Kawoosh season 2. Bye.